One. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Anthony, and we're here today on the Couch Sports Talk Show. With me, as always, is my man, Nick. What's going on, Nick?
Hey, how you doing, bro?
All right, so how's it going, man? I haven't talked to you in a while. How's everything?
Good.
Good.
Chilling.
Yeah,
Keeping up on football, doing my thing like every week.
I feel you. I feel you on that. So let's get right into it, man. Let's talk about my Dallas Cowboys. They're hot right now. You know, the last game against the Broncos wasn't their best, but I feel like they needed that loss to kind of like put them back into some type of humbleness, right?
Like a wake-up call.
Like a wake-up call, exactly. Yeah. I feel like they were vibing too much. They were getting cocky, and the Broncos pretty much beat their ass and gave them a reality check.
Yeah, honestly, I was surprised by it, seeing how they play like from week to week basis, and then you see them come in there against the Broncos and they get smacked.
Yeah. Like I honestly did not see that at all. I honestly thought they were going to run right over the Broncos. The Broncos defense is somewhat depleted. All they really have is Patrick Surtain. Besides him, I really don't see any superstars on that defense that can really make an impact. But it wasn't just that defense that did work. I mean, that offense was, phenomenal. Teddy Bridgewater, I believe he had an amazing game, in my opinion, against a somewhat stacked Cowboys defense. Even though Cowboys are somewhat hurt, losing DeMarcus Lawrence, Trayvon Diggs was somewhat shaken up. They just weren't the same Cowboys defense that we've seen all year.
Yeah. I feel like even still, though, I feel like the offense got to step up. I feel like, I'm going to be honest, I don't think Dak is that MVP contender that you thought he was, my boy.
Come on. He's MVP caliber, man. You look at every other quarterback. You look at every other quarterback. They're just not putting up the same numbers that Dak is. He's literally maybe top 7 in every single category. He has the passing yards. He has the touchdowns. He has the completion percentage. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Right. He's 24th in attempts, 17th in passing yards, 5th in touchdowns, and 18th in interceptions.
Okay. Before he had the injury, because the injury takes into effect, right? He was out for that one game, which I believe in that one game he could have did way better than Cooper Rush did. He probably would have ended the game with 500 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns, But even before that, he was top 5 in every single category.
Yeah, but we're not talking about coulda or what it was. It's what the numbers are now.
Yeah, you're right. It is what the numbers are.
He's not doing what he was. I feel like they're trying to balance out the offense more. And I feel like if they put the ball in Dak's hands more, then they would be more beneficial for that team.
Why do you say that?
Because they have so much firepower at the wide receiver position that if they just throw the ball and then run the ball when they want to, I feel like their strengths are in their wide receiver core.
Yeah. Well,
their running backs are good. Don't get me wrong. Like Zeke is a beast.
Yeah.
Pollard's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
But their wide receiver core is where their strengths are at.
Right. Yeah, I agree. They're probably one of the most well-balanced offense in the league, if not the most well-balanced, right behind probably, Tampa or even the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like Dak is I think he's still in consideration for MVP. I think he might finish in top 3 for consideration, honestly, if he doesn't win it. But I mean, you got to look at the rest of the schedule. The rest of his schedule, he's not really facing anybody with a top 10 defense, honestly. I mean, the hardest teams left in the schedule is probably the Chiefs and the Cardinals. I mean, he faces Washington twice. He faces the Giants one more time and the Eagles one more time. I mean, I honestly
wonder if that would even be taken into consideration, like after Like after after once they do like the MVP voting, if they take into consideration like the schedule strength.
Yeah.
Like if one quarterback had a harder schedule than the other ones, if that would even be like a thing. But I feel like the only reason he would even be in the top 3 consideration is because Derrick Henry got hurt.
Right.
If Derrick Henry doesn't get hurt, I feel like Dak Prescott moves out of there. And then the other ones for MVP is probably like Tom Brady and Matt Stafford.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe Kyler Murray. But Kyler Murray's kind of falling off because he's sitting out games. And not sitting out, but he's hurt.
Yeah.
If he wasn't hurt, then I feel like it would be a different story and he would still be putting up numbers.
Well, I mean, the same could be made for Dak Prescott.
But he's not putting up numbers.
He is.
Because when the Cowboys choose to have their one game where they're strictly just running the ball, Dak Prescott isn't throwing.
Unless he's
like,
throwing
what was it?
Garbage.
Like week 1, he threw for almost 500 yards or something. He almost had 50 some attempts.
Yeah.
And then the next week they ran the ball 50 some times and Dak Prescott barely even threw the ball.
I mean, you also got to play the opponent.
I get that, but I'm just saying though, the Cowboys will flip their game plan that drastically.
Yeah.
Instead of it being a balanced game plan every single week where they try and get 20 to 30 rush attempts. They throw the ball maybe 30 to 40 times. They're either throwing the hell out the ball or they're running the fuck out the ball.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're well balanced. They're well balanced. That's why I have them as Super Bowl contenders. I honestly think besides the Rams and the Bucks, obviously the Cowboys are probably right there with them as far as Super Bowl contenders. I don't really consider the Packers Super Bowl contenders just because, they don't really have that all around team. They don't have the defense to go with their offense.
We just seen what happened when Aaron Rodgers was out.
Right. They couldn't finish it.
Yeah, they wasn't shit.
Yeah. So without Aaron Rodgers, they're really not anything. If I'm a defense, obviously I'm going to keep on rushing Aaron Rodgers to make a pass. Aaron Rodgers could make that pass, Yeah. But if I'm a defense, I'm focusing on Aaron Rodgers and, trying to get to him as quickly as possible. So that way he doesn't have time to throw to his receivers. The more time he has, he's just going to defeat you every single game.
Right.
That's without question. He's going to defeat you every single game. But I think once these teams really hone in on that and actually start rushing him more, and we say it every year, oh, this is the way to defeat Aaron Rodgers. This is the way to defeat Aaron Rodgers. But nobody ever does until it comes to playoff time.
Tom Brady did, but Tom Brady was smoking him last season, boy.
Right. And I feel like that's going to happen again. The Packers are actually going to make it to the playoffs. They might make it to the second round, but I think that's it. I honestly don't see them going to the NFC Championship game. I don't see them going to the Super Bowl. The only teams that I honestly see going to the NFC Championship game are the Rams, the Cowboys, or the Bucks. It's going to be 2 of those 3 teams that make it to the NFC Championship game, depending on where they're seated at in the playoff bracket.
I just feel like in this year's NFL, the NFC is the powerhouse of the league. They got all the good teams, and then the AFC basically just has the Bills, who you think is going to make it. I feel like that's who everybody thinks this season is coming out.
Yeah.
As the representative of the AFC, because after Derrick Henry went down, I feel like people are they're not really going to do much.
Right.
The Steelers, I feel like they're not legit. With Ben, I feel like he's just not getting it done.
Right.
In the long haul, he's not getting it done. I feel like on a game-to-game basis, he's going to have his hot streaks where he just he makes a play here, he makes a play there. But even against the Bears last week, they barely pulled that off. Justin Fields was able to basically come alive in the second half of the game. And honestly, if it wasn't for them getting so many calls, they probably would have pulled it off and won.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like the AFC is not legit contenders.
So,
they just have the Bills, and that's pretty much it.
So I mean, who would you honestly put up there. I mean, if let's say the Bills weren't the Bills, who in the AFC do you honestly think would be a contender to at least make it to the Super Bowl?
Probably the Ravens if Lamar Jackson can get his passing right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in the beginning of the season, he was showing flashes of like him being able to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason in this last game, he
couldn't get it going.
He just couldn't get it going. But like it could just be that week. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then next week he could come out and just start throwing dimes again.
Right.
I feel like you just never know.
Right. I totally agree. I just don't see Lamar as being that guy, that versatile guy to, throw and rush the ball. I mean, obviously he, runs the ball, terrific. He's probably the second coming of Michael Vick, to be honest. But I just don't see him being that passing quarterback. I mean, majority of the time he's getting, maybe below 250 yards every single game. I mean, I really don't see him getting up there and getting those high numbers of passing yards. I mean, but then again, that is Baltimore's, game plan where they like to run those plays where he's, scrambling out of the pocket and, running for 10, 15, 20 yards. But I just think, like, honestly, I don't think that the Ravens can pull it off and actually come out atop on the AFC just because of that. I mean, once you have those edge rushers and they could contain the quarterback, I mean, you kind of have to force Lamar to make those throws. And I just don't think he's going to make those throws.
Yeah.
I honestly, in my opinion, I could see, the Bengals, the Chargers, maybe the Browns, if they get their act together, making it to, the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I don't see the Chiefs at all making it the way that they've been playing unless they absolutely
their defense is like they've relied so heavily on their offense the past few years that it's going to come back to bite them in the ass, like from here in the future. Like unless they can pull something off and like their defense all of a sudden just like starts playing good as hell. But I feel like other than that, they've relied so heavily on their offense that their like you're starting to see the effects with how weak their defensive play is.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, their offense, I mean, once you take Tyreek Hill out of the game, you double cover him, you put a, safety on Travis Kelce, like you're good. That's really all you have to worry about. Their run game isn't all that, CEH, he's, either hurt or he's just having an inconsistent season this year where they really don't have a run game. And, when you take out the run game and the defense only has to, play cover D constantly,
right?
That kind of, doesn't do justice for Patrick Mahomes, and he can't really be the Patrick Mahomes that we've seen in previous years. The reason he was so great was because he had that balance in that offense. He had a running back that could run. He had receivers that were fast and, had great route running skills, could catch the ball. He just had it all. And not to mention, he also had a better O-line. I feel like his O-line is worse this year than it was in the previous 3 to 4 years,
Yeah. Well, I mean, defenses aren't having to stack the box either. So the fact that they're able to create that much pressure just off of like a regular like front, like defensive front is crazy.
Yeah.
Because that basically leaves them with like they don't have to, they can basically put everybody in coverage.
Right.
And they don't have to worry about anything else.
Right, exactly.
Because like they put like you said, you put 2 guys on Tyreek Hill, put one over the top and then one that like trying to guard him, and you got him covered basically.
Yeah, that's all. That's honestly all you need to do every single game, and that's how you take Tyreek Hill out of that game. The fact that defenses still aren't doing it to this day, and this guy's getting open like crazy, it just blows my mind, honestly.
Well, it seems like they're starting to pick up on whatever their game plan is, because Patrick Mahomes don't look like looking like, to me, it's like I was saying, like a few weeks ago we were talking, I was like, it's looking like he's going to be like the new Matt Stafford. Like, even though he already got his Super Bowl and he got his MVP, it's looking like with the contract they gave him and they paid him, what was it, like 10 years, 500 mil or something like that?
Yeah.
They about to be paying him that much money and then they're gonna have to try and pay other players for the next 10 years. Like,
yeah, it's not gonna work. It's just not.
it's
gonna
just
work.
not looking like it's gonna be another Detroit Lions, Matt Stafford type situation. I mean, they might be able to get it together, but that's looking like what it's gonna be with the way his interceptions and like situation is looking now. It's not looking too good.
Right. So I like the fact that you brought up the Detroit Lions, because that's kind of what I want to get into. The Detroit Lions are 0-8 to start off the season. We haven't seen them play this bad since Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson were on the same team. You know, like this is honestly ridiculous how badly their season is going. And I honestly feel bad for Detroit Lion fans.
Like, they might be the first team to go 0-17.
Yeah, they might. They actually might. You know, Jared Goff, I understand why the Rams got rid of him. He's not good at all. I've been saying it for years. Jared Goff is not good. The reason he made the Super Bowl with the Rams was that defense and everybody else around him.
Yeah.
You know, Jared Goff is not a good quarterback. I mean,
I feel like everybody kind of knew that
yeah,
when they were in the Super Bowl. And like they knew that team was getting carried by the defense, but the offense was good.
Right. Yeah.
Because I feel like Jared Goff isn't a bad quarterback, but he's not anybody that's gonna like take you anywhere.
Right. Right. And
because like he's been surrounded by hella talent and nothing came of it. But like when they were in the Super Bowl, they were also with Todd Gurley, and Todd Gurley wasn't even. I don't even think he played that much in that Super Bowl.
No, he didn't.
Because he had his like knees were messed up or something like that. I forgot.
I think he was battling some type of injury, some type of leg injury. Yeah. But the Detroit Lions, I mean, you know, I feel like they have given up so much and wasted so much in the past years. Like now it just seems like it's a repetitive story. You know, they have a decent year one year and then boom, they're restarting all over again. It's like, how many times can you restart? You just can't. You restart with coaches, you restart with quarterback. Well, not quarterback, but I mean, they now restarted with the quarterback, but they're constantly restarting with receivers. The defense is restarting. It's like, how many times can you honestly restart?
Yeah. And like the crazy part is like this season, a lot of the games that they've lost, well, every game they've lost, like most of them, they've been in the game still, you know what I mean? Like they lose by only a few points. And it seems like they're just making like mental mistakes and they don't know how to finish games.
Right. Exactly.
Which is like, you don't really know if that falls on like Jared Goff or if that falls on the defense or maybe both, because Jared Goff isn't keeping the defense off the field. You know what I mean? And then by the end of the game, they're just too tired to keep up with the defense or the offenses that they're playing against.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when they played the Bears, honestly, that was a mixture of both. You know, you saw a lot of mental mistakes from Jared Goff. You saw a lot of mental mistakes from the defense. And honestly, I feel like they should have won that game against the Bears. And then against the Ravens, you know, the Ravens, the game against the Ravens, I have to give it to the Ravens. I have to give it to Justin Tucker because he won the game on a record-breaking field goal.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't lose like that every week. You know,
like I mean, there's not much you could do about that. Exactly. You keep them out of field goal range the best you can, but when you got Justin Tucker kicking field goals for you, there's not much you can do to stop that. Right. And that one, honestly, was probably their biggest upset, I would say, because I mean, if you're somebody that bets, you're gonna take whoever is playing the Lions, like you're just gonna take them no matter what, right? Right. So I feel like that could have been the biggest upset for the Lions this year. You know, when they played the 49ers, that was a good game. I mean, they kind of came back. I feel like if they would have kept the 49ers offense off the field a lot more and made a lot of third down stops, they honestly could have won that game because their offense was clicking on every level. You know, DeAndre Swift was good. Jamal Williams was good. Jared Goff was good. They just had that kind of chemistry that game where they honestly could have won. You know, you look at their schedule, there's about 4 games where they honestly could have won those games. You know, but like you said, with the mental mistakes, you know, Jared Goff just not being himself, the defense not being themselves,
I mean, you can't really do much when it comes
Yeah,
to
I mean the only game that they really got blown out in was against the Eagles.
yeah. Yeah, they got pretty torched.
Other than that, like they had a decent amount of opportunities to come back and win the game,
right.
which is crazy because right now they're looked at as being a trash team because they're 0-8. But
I mean,
it's like, how bad are you really though? If you're in those games, like you might just need that little extra step just to get going, and then you could be 7-1,
yeah.
6-2. You know what I mean? Like,
So I mean, in your opinion, what would be that extra step? Because they have somewhat a quarterback, you know, Jared Goff. I mean, he's not the greatest quarterback, but he is I would say somewhat consistent quarterback over the years. You have a good run game in DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams. I mean, in your opinion, what would you say is that missing piece for them to actually get that first win?
probably like mistake-free football, like not as many fumbles, picks,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Because I feel like there's a lot of times where like Jared Goff is getting sacked and he's putting the ball on the ground,
Right.
or he's trying to do too much in the offense instead of getting rid of the ball. He's throwing a pick.
Right.
You know, stuff like that that'll keep the other team in the game while you have a lead, or blow your opportunity to come back for and win the game.
So pretty much don't play Detroit Lions style football.
Yeah, basically. But I mean, they've been trying to change that narrative for the longest time, and like we've seen it because like being from Chicago, you see a lot of Lions games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You see the Bears play them twice a year. You know what I mean? They play on Thanksgiving damn near every year, so you see these games all the time, and it's like they put out the same product on the field every single. It doesn't matter what the roster looks like, who's there. You see the same type of football, Detroit Lions football. Even when Matt Stafford was there, you see what he's doing now with the LA Rams.
Yeah.
And I feel like people thought that he was a good quarterback, but I feel like nobody thought that he could play to this caliber when you surround him with talent.
Right.
I feel like they just thought that he was going to come in and just kind of take the Rams to this, like to be Super Bowl contenders, but with like not mediocre play, but like mistake-free football, like just getting the job done.
Right.
But he seems to have a decent chemistry going with Cooper Kupp.
Right.
up in
Yeah,
LA.
I totally agree. I mean, I think Matthew Stafford, honestly, I think the best thing for him was getting out of Detroit.
Oh, for sure.
Detroit, they did nothing for Matthew Stafford besides waste his career. They did the same thing with, Calvin Johnson. They did the same thing with Barry Sanders. It just seems like it's the narrative always with Detroit. Like they're just wasting Hall of Famer careers. And honestly, Matthew Stafford, in my opinion, he's a future Hall of Famer. The numbers don't lie. He was the fastest, 10,000 yards, 20,000 yards, 30,000 yards. He puts up the numbers, but when you have that losing culture where, the team doesn't want to get you pieces around you to actually make you contenders, even playoff contenders. I think the only 2 times he made it to the playoffs, he had monstrous years where he was putting up 5,000 yards.
Right.
35 plus touchdowns. So I feel like the Detroit Lions, like, I don't know. I honestly think something needs to change in the front office because it's not working. It hasn't been working for years. They're wasting careers. They're wasting people's times at the games. They're wasting people's money at the games.
Look, as a Bears fan, I don't even care. They can keep it the way they got it right now because
easy win for you guys.
I'm cool with the Bears going in there and beating up every single time. I don't even care. They could keep it the way they got it. Keep Jared Goff too.
Right. Yeah. I feel you on that. I feel you. Talking about bad teams, bad ownerships, let's get into the Las Vegas Raiders. What the hell is going on in Las Vegas right now?
Man, I don't know. I got Darren Waller on my fantasy team.
That's probably the only upside.
Yeah.
Anybody who has Darren Waller, anybody that has Derek Carr, like that's probably your only upside right now.
Hunter Renfrow not bad. He seemed like he's showing out a little bit.
Nah, I don't like him.
He's not nothing special, but he seems like he's like he could have like a promising career as long as he has like a good QB around because he makes catches and he finds ways to advance the ball no matter what. And he isn't afraid to come over the middle and take a hit from a linebacker, which is respectable from somebody who is his size because he's not a big dude.
He's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Raiders, I don't know, man. There's just something about them where they're this close to winning, but something just always happens. Something always gets in the way. It's either injuries, off the field distractions, off the field trouble, as we just seen recently with Ruggs. I mean, I don't know what the hell that guy was thinking. But you know, it's just right now a downfall for the Raiders. And at the beginning of the season, I had them going to the playoffs. I had them winning the division. You know, I honestly thought that they were going to be one of the top teams in the AFC. Now I just don't see it anymore. Like,
well, I mean, they're not far off from winning their division. It's 5-3. They're tied for 5-3 with the Chargers.
Right.
So, I mean, as long as they can keep on the path that they're on right now and just continue to improve, I feel like they'll be all right. I feel like they just have a lot of spotlight on them with the whole thing that happened with John Gruden. And then now with Henry Ruggs, everybody's like, what's happening? Why are the Raiders why are they looking so bad right now? But it's like,
dude, I mean, but do you honestly think that they could continue it? I mean, the run game isn't all there. Josh Jacobs isn't the same Josh Jacobs that we saw.
Do I think they're contenders for a Super Bowl? No. But do I think it's possible for them to take the division? Sure. Or at least a wild card. I mean, they're 5-3 right now, tied with the Chargers. I feel like their only issue is that Derek Carr is missing throws.
Yes. But I mean, he's always been like that though.
Yeah, but if he can hone that in and somehow start to win, because like in the first few weeks, he looked good.
Right.
And then now these last couple weeks, it seems like his play is starting to go on a downward spiral.
I mean, but isn't that always the case with him though? I mean, every single year it's always, he's doing good the first, 5, 6, 7 weeks. And then later on in the season, it's like, okay, who the hell is this guy? This isn't the quarterback that we saw.
Well, yeah, but like you hope for somebody to break that streak. Like even if you're not a fan of the Raiders, like you've seen Derek Carr play at a high level. You've seen players on it. You've seen Josh Jacobs play at a high level, but he can't even stay on the field right now.
Right. I mean, I see these guys play at a high level, but it's like, I mean, I feel like they just need to do more. Like Derek Carr, I feel like he needs to do more. He had the receivers the past couple of years. He's had them. He's had a running back. He's had an O-line. He's had the coach for the most part of his career. So it's like, why can't you just, figure it out, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know.
Like, why the hell is it?
I feel like it literally, I feel like it just comes down to him like missing his throws. Like there was hella times last game where he missed a few throws. Like he missed a wide open throw to Darren Waller for a touchdown.
Yeah. And those are like, easy throws.
And I'm like, if you hit that throw, that's game changing. Like you take all the momentum and like there's like you basically just win the game just like that.
Right. Exactly.
He misses those throws and then he's over there on the bench kicking himself because now he's like, damn, that was actually an easy throw. I could have hit that.
Right. I don't know. I just don't see Derek Carr taking them anywhere. I think the Raiders now need to move on from Derek Carr. I think he needs to move on from the Raiders. I just don't like that bond that they have, that relationship that they have. I think he needs to go. What team? I have no idea. I honestly don't know what team is in need of a Derek Carr type of quarterback, but he needs to go somewhere. He needs to go somewhere else. Somewhere else.
I feel like he's gonna be with the Raiders for a while.
You honestly think that?
Yeah. I feel like their little culture that they got going is like it's like a brotherhood over there, and like they're not gonna let that go for whatever reason.
I mean, if I'm Mark Davis, hey, bye Derek Carr. You haven't done shit for me yet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go draft another quarterback from the SEC.
I mean, they probably just think that he needs more talent around him. I feel like their receiving core ain't bad though. Like the receiving core has like shown like promise. They
But that's
get
the
open.
thing. That's the thing. He's had receivers.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, he's
I don't know.
had receivers.
I just feel like that division is like up for grabs right now. Like obviously the Chargers are looking like they're the better team in there, even with the
Yes.
Chiefs there. But I just feel like with the Chargers being at 5-3, that like if they were really who they say they are, then they would be better than 5-3.
Right.
Because everybody was looking at Justin Herbert like he was like the next coming of like Tom Brady, like he's gonna be the next like GOAT quarterback.
Yeah.
And like he looks good, don't get me wrong, but like you see a lot of receivers dropping passes now. Like it's just like
It's
they're not
sloppy
putting,
play.
yeah, they're not putting out what we thought they were.
Right. I don't know. I still like the Chargers. I like them winning the division. I like them at least making it to the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they're maybe missing one or two pieces. The defense, I honestly think that's a good defense. You know,
Yeah.
you have Joey Bosa, you have Derwin James. I mean, I just think it's a good defense. The offense, I mean, what more can you ask? You have Justin Herbert, you have Keenan Allen, you have Austin Eckler. You know, it's kind of like they have somebody on every aspect of their team. You know, they have somebody in secondary, they have somebody on the front line, they have the receiver, the running back, the quarterback. It's just like, can they go to the next level now?
Yeah.
You know, like I get it, Justin Herbert's still young. You know, he's only in his second year. But there's been quarterbacks that have done it in their second year or third year. You know, for perfect example, Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
You know, he went to the Super Bowl in his third year.
Yeah, basically.
You know,
I mean, and like him, Lamar Jackson has basically been carrying the Ravens for the past few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like there's no real like nowadays there's no real excuse because you've seen like Patrick Mahomes, but I feel like a lot of people need to like relax and like remember that like everybody's not like a super athlete or like built to like come straight out of college and like.
Well, that's why I want my
like
quarterbacks.
Numbers.
I want all my quarterbacks like that from now on. There's no excuse. If Patrick Mahomes could do it in his third season, everybody should be able to do it in the third season.
Nah, that's like people trying to rush Justin Fields, bro. Like every single, like on a week-to-week basis, he's looked better.
I still don't like him. I honestly think if I'm the Bears, if I'm the Bears coach or the Bears GM, I am sitting Justin Fields for the whole year, letting him just observe different defenses and letting him just learn. I don't care.
But why though? Every single week he's gotten better.
Yeah, he's gotten better, but I just think it was too early for him. You saw his first 3 or 4 games. I mean, he really.
Yeah, but if you bench him now and put in Andy Dalton, what do you think that does to him?
Oh, it crushes his confidence 100%.
Right. So you keep him in the game because you see him on a week-to-week basis performing better. You see him, even with the offensive line the way it is, the receivers not being able to create separation besides like Darnell Mooney because he's like the speedy guy. He is, bro.
Darnell Mooney, I don't know.
I'm not saying he's like the greatest receiver ever, but I'm saying he's the speed. Like Allen Robinson doesn't create separation.
No.
No matter what he says, like he has probably one of the best hands in the league. Right. He can catch the football, but he's making contested catches because he can't create separation. And that's just what it is.
Allen Robinson is probably one of the most overrated wide receivers in the league.
I mean, I can agree with you to an extent.
I mean,
I feel like he's not a legit number one, but I don't think he's overrated.
I honestly think he is. You put him on any other team, he's probably a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 on any other team.
I wouldn't say a wide receiver 3, but wide receiver 2.
Depending on the team, he is a wide receiver 3. Depends on the team.
Yeah. I just feel like I feel like the way that Fields has played these past couple weeks, you finish out the season with him.
I agree.
And there's especially with getting Larry Borum back, their other rookie.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was blocking pretty well this last game, even though they lost, but like Fields had time.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure this is the first time he threw for over 200 yards.
I think probably second time. But yeah, I agree. I mean, you obviously finished off the season with Justin Fields. I just don't like that they started him to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly think that they should have just kept Andy Dalton in. I don't care what the fans are saying. I don't care what the players are saying. I just don't care.
I
If
don't think
I'm
it had anything to do with what any of them were saying. I think the ownership were like, you either putting a rookie on the field or we gonna fire you now.
well, yeah, from Matt Nagy's standpoint, but that's what I'm saying. Like if I'm the ownership, I don't care what anybody else is because obviously the ownership is listening to the fans.
Yeah.
You know, they're listening to the booing, they're listening to the name calling, they're listening to the fans chanting Fields. You know, like if I'm the ownership, I'm telling Matt Nagy, hey, you are not starting this kid at all this year. Let him sit, let him learn. Don't let him get hurt. This guy is potentially our future. You know,
Yeah.
just do it the right way. You know, and I feel like they
I mean,
didn't do that.
I get it, but I feel like if you don't see him learning on the fly while he's playing, then sure, you sit him down.
Right.
But I feel like the fact that he's getting better on a week-to-week basis, then you let him, like you see where he's basically going to go, because like in this, like the Bears have, I think like the top 3 or like top 5 hardest schedules in the league this year.
Yeah.
So if he's able to put up numbers against the teams that he's playing against now, imagine when he doesn't have to play against these hard teams. You know what I mean? Like next season, if the schedule is easier, then
the Bears schedule is always going to be somewhat difficult. They play the Packers twice, they play the Vikings twice. That's 4 games right there.
But the Vikings weak as hell.
I mean, they're not the greatest team.
They're so overrated.
But they still put up numbers.
Yeah, they put up numbers, but like I just feel like they're overrated. And like Vikings fans hype them up. Like Vikings fans are like they're like the Cowboys fans of the NFC North, bro.
Stop.
I swear to God, yo.
Stop. There's nothing wrong with having a great fan base, a loyal fan base. No, stop. The Vikings, they put up numbers. They get the crowd going. You know, they're a solid team. You know.
Yeah, as long as they got Captain Kirk, they ain't on that.
I don't think he's a bad quarterback, honestly. Yes,
if he was on your team, you wouldn't be happy with him.
Well, that is correct because I'm used to a winning culture and a quarterback that's somewhat competent. You know,
you're used to it. When's the last time y'all won something?
That's not the point. The point is, we have winning seasons, multiple winning seasons back to back. You know, multiple playoff appearances. You know, we're just used to that kind of culture. You know.
Yeah, whatever you say, bro.
I'm just saying, hey, my Dallas Cowboys, they're winning the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. Were you even watching the game the last time they was in the Super Bowl?
I was walking around.
Yeah.
I was walking around.
Yeah, with a baby rattle.
That's fine. Hey, that's fine. I may have had a pacifier in my mouth when they won the Super Bowl, but that's neither here nor there. When was the last time the Bears won a Super Bowl?
Hey, look, they didn't win the Super Bowl, but they was in the Super Bowl.
Hey, I don't want to hear it. When was the last time they won it?
I'm not talking about the Bears right now, though. We know the Bears trash.
The Bears have been trash for 20 years. 20
we
plus
know
years.
The boys need help. Y'all need to worry about that boy Taylor Heineke.
Stop.
He coming for the division, bro.
No, stop.
Yeah.
No. The Washington football team is decades away from ever winning that division.
Sheesh.
Last year was a fluke.
About that, bro.
Last year was a fluke. You know, last year was a fluke because Dak got hurt. If Dak never gets hurt, the Cowboys are going to playoffs easy. They're winning the division easily. It's just common sense. Come on.
It's common sense.
It is. Cowboys are going to Super Bowl,
so, bro.
I'm calling it. Cowboys going to Super Bowl. I'll tell you who's not going to Super Bowl though. The Cleveland Browns.
I
don't know what was going on with the whole OBJ situation, but he obviously didn't work out in Cleveland. Baker, I don't like him as a quarterback. I never liked him as a quarterback. He's a overhyped Gardner Minshew, to be honest. Because you look at their numbers, they're freaking identical.
I feel like people I feel like people are surprised by the Browns like not wanting Odell there, but like they're not a pass heavy offense.
They're not, because Baker
So
can't throw.
so to have that much like that much talent at the wide receiver position, it doesn't make any sense because you basically just have Odell running routes, Jarvis Landry running routes,
Mhm.
and that's it. But you're trying to like you're basically like forcing the ball, like running the ball
Right.
with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, and like you're just running the like running. And I feel like that's also why like Baker Mayfield, like he's the perfect quarterback for that offense because he doesn't have to throw the ball that many times
Yeah, but I feel
because
like,
they are so keen on running the ball.
but if you're a team going against them and you know all you have to do is stop the run, don't you want a quarterback that could throw?
But they can't stop the run.
Well,
When
now they
Nick Chubb
can.
and Kareem Hunt are healthy, they cannot stop the run, bro.
Key phrase, healthy,
Right.
or actually at the game. If they don't have
Right. But that's where the
off the
issue
field
comes in. That's why
problems.
they're not going to the Super Bowl.
I don't know.
Because they have that one-dimensional offense.
Right.
And Baker, I feel like Baker Mayfield, like you were saying, like he's an overhyped Gardner Minshew. He's not going to take that offense to the next level because he can't throw the ball that well. Like he makes throws,
Yeah.
he has clutch plays, but does he do it on a consistent basis? No.
No, absolutely not.
And it probably doesn't help him now that he has a messed up shoulder and he's trying to whip the ball while his other shoulder's in pain.
Yeah. I don't know. I think everybody was high on the Browns. And I'll be honest, I was one of those people at the beginning of the season, just based off what they did last year. And I was like, you know what, the Browns are gonna win that division. They're maybe make it to the second round of the playoffs. But now I just don't see it anymore, honestly.
Well, I don't see them winning the division just because they're like, I feel like that division is like up for grabs.
Yeah.
In a sense, like with the Steelers, like they obviously need a new quarterback and then they can take that next step. The Bengals, they've looked good. Like they've had flashes where they're beating like some of the best teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Ravens, they're the obvious better team in that division.
Right.
But if they keep underperforming, they're going to give up their spot.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, I honestly think that the Bengals are going to be good for years to come. I think that the rivalry is no longer going to be Baltimore against Pittsburgh. It's going to be Baltimore against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I think those two teams are going to go at it for years to come just because they have so much talent, young talent, like they're going to be good for so many years.
Unless Pittsburgh can get a quarterback.
But you think Pittsburgh can get a quarterback that quick?
You never know.
I honestly don't think so. I don't like the incoming draft class. I just don't.
If Pittsburgh drafts a quarterback and he works out, Pittsburgh is immediately like not a Super Bowl contender, but they're playoff contenders.
Why? All they have now is a running back.
Because they have a good defense and their offense isn't bad either. Like they have Najee Harris, who's obviously a beast.
Yeah.
They have a good wide receiver core who can get the job done.
Who?
Chase Claypool's a dog, bro. Deontay Thompson's a dog.
Man. I don't know.
Bruh.
He's spotty. Let's be honest. He's spotty. And Juju will be on his way out in the next year or two. Guaranteed.
But you don't think that they're spotty because they have Ben Roethlisberger who can't escape the pocket and he's forced to make throws in like 1 second, 1.5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like,
that may be the
he's
case.
Getting pressure, he has to get rid of it.
That may be the case, but you honestly think there's going to be a quarterback to come in that quick and be better than Ben was the past 5 years?
Possibly. I don't think it would be hard to be better than Ben Roethlisberger right now.
Than Ben Roethlisberger right now, yes.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like Ben Roethlisberger this season, I feel like there's a lot of quarterbacks that could come in and replace his productivity with ease and even perform better with the talent that's around them.
No, I totally agree. Ben Roethlisberger, he needs to go. I think his time in the NFL is done. I think he needs to retire. I know he says he wants to continue playing, but I just don't see it anymore. Like he doesn't have the arm power anymore. He doesn't have, the running capability like he used to have, even though it wasn't all that great, but he was still able to get out of the pocket and,
Man, Ben Roethlisberger is not the GOAT.
he never
He is
was.
not Tom. He is not Tom Brady. He cannot continue to play, bro.
I agree. I honestly agree.
He can. Tom Brady go play till he's like 50 years old.
I don't see that.
Bro, I'm telling you.
I think if it's not this year, it'll be next year. That's Tom Brady. It's his last year.
I don't think so.
I honestly do, man. I don't think it's there anymore. And people could disagree with me all they want. I don't care. Tom Brady, he's slipping. Like if you actually watch the games, he's slipping.
How?
Because his offense is bailing him out. His wide receivers are creating so much separation that he could easily just throw it, lob it in the air, and the receiver is going to go get it.
So because the wide receivers are doing what they're supposed to do.
No, the wide receivers are outperforming.
And Tom Brady is putting the ball where it's supposed to be.
No, the wide receivers are overperforming, is what I'm saying. The wide receivers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now are so good that they're making Tom Brady look good.
I don't think so.
They're creating.
I mean, he's surrounded by like a powerhouse offense.
He is.
But I feel like their offense is like that because of Tom Brady. What he brings to that team mentally and physically, being able to throw the ball and make decisions as a quarterback.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he has one of the greatest IQs as a quarterback in NFL history. I would say if anybody is in competition with him, it probably would have been Peyton Manning. I mean, as we saw for years, Peyton Manning had the IQ to, I think, surpass Tom Brady. But I mean, when you're just that smart of a quarterback, it kind of just comes easy for you. But I don't know. I just don't think it's there anymore. I think he doesn't have the same throwing power. I mean, let's be realistic. He's never had throwing power. Yeah, he could get it 50 yards down the field, but I don't know, man. I just don't see it. I don't see it anymore with him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's shown flashes of still having a throw power. Like, obviously, he's taking a step back physically from what he was when he was with the Patriots. But for him to still be performing the way he's performing now with the Bucs at his age is just crazy to see.
Yeah. No, yeah, I totally agree. All right. Last topic. Let's get to who we for sure know is going to have one of the top 5 draft picks. Honestly, the bottom of the league. And I hate to say it, but it's going to be Jacksonville for sure. Even though Jacksonville, they're kind of booming right now, with Trevor Lawrence. I just don't see him being consistent, honestly. Miami, I don't see them winning any more games. Well, that many games. Don't get me wrong, they're still a talented team, but I just, with their schedule coming up, I just don't see them being that good. And then the Jets can't seem to get it right. I mean, maybe this new quarterback, what's his name, Mike White or something.
Yeah, Mike White.
The
dude who came out of fucking nowhere.
Out of nowhere, right? Maybe he's the right fit for them. Maybe, they win some more games. I just don't see it. I think them plus the Lions, I think they're going to be, the bottom of the barrel, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you got the Texans too, but like everybody knew the Texans were going to be bad. But they'll still, I feel like that's legit who the top 5 draft picks are going to be for the season. And I feel like that there's really no debate there.
Yeah.
Because like you can't really see those teams winning any other games. Like people are surprised that the Jets even won any games. I feel like the only reason they won games was because Zach Wilson got hurt. Other than that, I didn't really see them winning any games. Trevor Lawrence, he's not surrounded by any talent, I feel like, to even determine him as a bust yet. Obviously, the Texans are bad. Lions, trash. Mm-hmm. Who else was it? Oh, the Dolphins.
Yeah,
Dolphins are they're all right.
I just don't see them winning any more games.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, man. Well, that's it for today's show. Follow us for more videos and more content on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Couch Sports Talk Show. And be sure to check us out on YouTube, on our YouTube channel at the Couch Sports Talk Show for exclusive videos. For that, from here, from the Couch Sports Talk Show, I'm Anthony. And with always, Nick, be sure to check us out and have a good day, guys.
See you.